Hello and welcome back to the Apocalypse. My name is Vormithrax, and this is episode number 89 of our tutorial Let's Play for Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. And we've made it back to our base at the end of last episode, so now it is time to make some decisions. In between episodes, I did just a couple of minor things. I did unload the vehicle. Let me show you what status we're in currently. So as you can see, status-wise for our character, everything's perfectly fine. A little tired. I'm going to need to sleep real quick here, but no other problems. So everything's good to go there. Look at the vehicle over here. I've got everything pulled out of the vehicle. The only thing left in it is the bottle jack. No reason to pull that out for now. Otherwise, I emptied out all the cargo spaces, and it's good to go there. We do need to do a couple of quick repair replacements. Our solar panels in these two positions need to be replaced. So this one I think is gone entirely and that one's damaged. So I will here in a little bit pull both of those, recycle this one down to its components, and then install two new ones so we can get this back into tip-top shape so it'll be ready to go again in the future. I'm going to do everything I can to not touch this vehicle, meaning I'm not going to scavenge or use parts out of this in the RV. I want to keep this well maintained and ready to go whenever we need to go out and about, so it's going to stay fueled up and in perfect condition from here forward. So I just really love that as our travel around and kill stuff vehicle. Alright, so back here you can see the RV is in pretty rough shape, so it needs a whole lot of work. So we probably are going to need to do some targeted scavenging runs to get some materials and some upgrade items for it. We've got quite a bit here in our base, but we are still missing some things that I think we're going to need. So it's a bit of a project to try to put one of these together to get it really ready for movement. So I did reorganize all of the inventory spaces. I had stuff that's kind of scattered all over the place when we had done the build of our workshop. I finished tearing out the cabinet system right here, the counters, and made a more coherent inventory system. So everything's in pretty much one place now. This is still the storage batteries. We've got a couple attached here still, so we've got a little bit of power into our workshop. Before I show you the inventory, let me jump out here. Now, we did pull off all the solar panels to put onto our vehicle before we had left on our scouting run. So I'm trying to decide whether I want to drop another row of solar panels in the meantime to get a little bit of a trickle charge into our batteries, or do we just run some of the gas that's still in fairly limited supply. So I don't have an overabundance of fuel. So I'm a little undecided on that. We'll revisit that question. I put our two 200-liter cans or drums of gas out here. So the reason for that is by standing in either of these positions, I can refill either the RV, or if I stand here, I can fill directly into our network. So I can siphon and refill these cans easily to either object. So just makes it quick and convenient if I do need to hop out and refill some gas into either one of them. So that's where these are located. This one's right below me has got, it's just a tiny amount of gas in it. I think that's just 12 liters, whereas the other one's completely full. So it's 200 full liters of gasoline in this one. Alright, so that's kind of the status there. For our inventory items, everything's kind of in this one grouping of objects here for the most part. Right next to the UPS, I've got our UPS enabled devices, so the cordless drill, forge, food dehydrator, and so on. And then kind of going in order from there, this is the food pile. I put it here just for proximity to the kitchen and equipment there. We got our tools pile. Next to that, we've got our clothing pile. Below that is the dirty clothing pile right here. All our books, our artifacts, our CBMs, or compact bionic modules. These are our vehicle equipment. So this is all the solar panels and frames and motors and cases and so on. Next we got ammo and magazines and mods, followed by guns, followed by raw materials for just producing things. So that's a huge pile of all the pipes and wires and ropes and all the random stuff that's around. And then finally our medicine. So everything's in its own separate area. I'm not going to go into the piles directly and kind of look at them. There's just tons and tons of stuff here. We've had a really successful scouting run. We brought back a really large amount of stuff. I'll give you one example. Here's what the ammo pile looks like now. So just all sorts of ammo, and you can see in brackets some of the quantities of these. So 400 rounds of shotgun ammo, 735 rounds of 9mm full metal jacket. I mean, hundreds of rounds of 40 caliber Smith & Wesson. 22 LR, and it goes to another page. So we've got a fairly good supply of a number of different types, and then we've got a few mods and magazines that are laying around as well. So we'll kind of delve into that a little bit later. For the moment, we're doing fine. So I've got the ID cards on auto pickup at the moment, so I'm going to disable that so I stop grabbing them every time I walk over these piles. I think I have those in my tools pile, so I'm going to leave them there. And then we'll go to the auto pickup manager for ID cards, and we are going to disable that. Alright, so say yes. Now I can step on it without them picking up. When I leave the base, I'll go ahead and turn that back on again, so when we're out and about, but I don't want to constantly be picking it up and having to drop it off while I'm just walking around my base. Okay, so that's the situation. Got everything organized in nice clean area. Here's the plan. I've been thinking through what I want to do and kind of in what order. The overall goal is to relocate our base, and we're going to move from our current area down to the area that we scouted, so it's a ways south, and we'll probably take this southern route here as we discovered that well-placed minefield right there. Well, where did it go? There it is, right there. There's a well-placed minefield right there. I'd rather not try to get my RV through there, so it's not a good, compelling reason to go that direction. So we'll take the southern route like we did when we first went down. It was fairly clear, and work our way around this way, and then down again. So I'm still a little undecided between the garage and the mansion, which way to go. User pointed out that mansion, we could build a well. We could build a water well in that central courtyard area to have a fresh water supply there in the mansion. And that's a good plan. I'd totally forgotten about that. So I'm kind of leaning towards the mansion just because it gives us easy proximity to a whole pile of raw materials to build with. So we'll see. I'll think about it more when we get down there and I can look at those two again and make a final decision. Another comment that I got was to look for a fire station. It's also a really good location for a base. It's got a similar setup as a garage where you've got a big door that you can open and close for the vehicles to get in and out of the bay of the fire station. Plus it's got a kitchen area, an office area, and so on, and plenty of room for a workshop. So I haven't looked around this area, but like there's one, but it's right in the middle of the town, so that would be a little tough. So is that. There's one kind of on the outside edge, but it puts me in proximity to that fungal infection, so unless I make that my immediate priority, I'm not sure. I don't see any others that I scouted. There's one there. There's 3 of them right in the middle of Dartmouth. I'd have to do a pretty heavy clearing to get into there, and I'd rather have it kind of on the outside edge somewhere so I have easy car access. I don't want to have to be dodging around damaged vehicles and such to get in and out of my fire station if I used one of those. I'm not seeing any that jump out at me as a really good location. That one's not too bad actually, because it puts you right on top of the heavy population proximity, and I could clear an area around it without too much of a difficulty. And it's got easy. I'd have to come in. The entrance bays will be on the street side here, so I'd have to come around and in that way. But not too bad. So I mean, quick and easy transit between these major metropolitan areas. It puts us a little ways away from that fungal bloom. We'd probably have an easy drive up that direction. So if I were to pick one, that so far is the one that's looking like the most likely. So enough strategy talk. So how do we do it? Well, the overall goal, like I said, is to relocate our base and everything down there. Now another idea is, depending on just how cool and well equipped we make this RV, we could just do a mobile base, not even set up a workshop. So if we can get everything built into this thing that a stationary workshop would do, but leave us mobile, we might do that. We'll just run around in our base, and I would still want to coordinate between the 2 vehicles, so we would move to a new area, then go back and, or probably move to a new area in this vehicle, clear wherever we're planning on parking our RV, then going back and getting it, and then use that as our base in the meanwhile. So that would save us a lot of hassle. So it's just going to depend. If I feel like we've got everything we need built into that, then we have no need to actually build up this kind of a base. And if we have enough storage capacity organized well enough, we wouldn't need a place to store everything laying around on the ground either. So we'll see just how much time, effort, and how useful we can make this luxury RV. There's a lot of possibilities, but it is going to take some time, so it is our major project now that we've got the scouting run done. Alright, so little steps to get to that point. We do need to do some self-improvement as well. So what I mean by that is our skills. There's one particular skill that I think we are falling behind on, and it's causing some issues for our survivability. So we've gotten pretty high in a number of our abilities and capabilities, but tailoring is down at level 4. Tailoring is what controls the clothing and armor that we're able to produce, and considering what else we have available to us for weaponry and skills, that's really low. I gotta push that up. So I've got to get that raised up. There's just a huge pile of really useful and cool things we could be building and wearing that would increase our survivability substantially. So that is going to be my initial focus. I'm going to get some training and reading done so we can raise a few skills in particular. There's a couple of books we're going to read, and then we're going to have to actually practice building things that use the tailoring skill to raise that. I don't have an advanced tailoring book that we found yet, so despite all of the visiting we've done to bookstores and libraries. So if we come over near our book supply and we go to the read menu, this is our list. It's getting pretty lengthy, and it's actually a couple of pages now, so it goes all the way down to a second page. The ones we can't use yet because we don't have the skill are economics, effective communication, and knife techniques. None of those are going to be tailoring. Nothing on the second page is something we can learn skills from. It's all just recipes or stuff we can't learn at all. So, back on this list, we're looking for things in blue. So we've got unarmed combat to 3, archery to 1, survival to 8. That's one I would also like to finish off to that 8 level. First aid to 8, another important one I think we should do. Bartering, not concerned about. Speaking, don't care. Second survival to 8. But it's got -3 fun, 35 minutes versus +1 fun, 35 minutes. So this is the one we'll be reading, the autobiography of a mountain man, because it's got actually +1 fun factor, so it won't be draining our focus while we read it. So that's an important consideration when you're choosing between books. If you have multiple books that'll provide a skill, make sure you pick the one that's got the better fun factor, or it reads in a shorter amount of time per chapter. Then submachine guns to 3 and trapping to 1. So not really a big list of things we still need to use, and notice there was no tailoring anywhere in that list. So there are a couple we're going to do, but I want to do the tailoring first. So that's going to unlock a large amount of recipes in combination with our fabrication and other skills that will help us out tremendously in regards to what gear we've got equipped. So that is going to be my initial focus. So we're going to be doing some reading, some practicing of tailoring. We're going to fix up the armored car, get those 2 solar panels replaced, and if I feel like taking a break from this inventory and skill up management stuff, we're going to go out back into the world and do some targeted scavenging, probably mostly looking for some more cargo spaces and solar panels. I don't think we have quite enough to fully outfit the RV, because I'm going to want to see if I can get some arrays installed on the RV where we combine 12 solar panels at once. So we'll see how that works out. Here's what our solar panel supply looks like if I sort this by solar. Okay, it didn't like that for some reason because I spelled it wrong. There we go. So anything not damaged is what I'm counting initially. So we've got 5 here, another 5 here is 10, and then 8 more is 18. Oh, nope, that's solar cells. So we've got 5 and 8. We've got 13 solar panels that are undamaged and ready to go. Anything that's damaged, I'm actually going to strip down to its solar cell components and then rebuild. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them to strip down. Once we've got that done and we've got the rest of the solar cells added into the pile, we'll see how many we can rebuild. So I suspect we'll have, I don't know, maybe 18 or so solar panels. So it takes 12 to build a solar array. And we still don't have the ability to do upgraded solar panels. So if we search our recipe list, actually we do have upgraded option. It takes 12 upgraded, oh, that's for the solar array. So we need 12 upgraded solar panels, and it's weird that we don't have the ability to build upgraded solar panels. We can combine upgraded solar panels into an array, but I don't have the recipe apparently to actually build upgraded solar panels. We can do reinforced, which would help. So if we can build some reinforced glass, that would actually be a benefit, because this would make them less susceptible to damage. Alright, so that's enough talking. That's our plans, so I wanted to kind of go over things so everybody was aware of what's going to be coming up and the activity. Now, we don't have a large supply of meat. We took a bunch with us on our scouting run, and we chewed through most of it, so our food supply is getting a little bit meager. We've got a pretty good amount of pre-packaged and stored foods, so this list is pretty long. Some of our blueberries are turning already. So quite a bit of stuff here, but a lot of this isn't things I'm going to try to use in the near term. And if I check that again and then search for meat of any kind, you can see we've got just one chunk of meat, 77 dehydrated, 45 smoked, and then a few bags of meat jerky. So I don't consider this a lot of meat, especially if I do a lot of training and reading. We're going to burn through 8 or 10 of these a day probably, just doing that, so you can see that's not going to last us very long. So we might have to do an ant hunting run up north and restock our meat supplies. So we'll try to avoid that for a couple of days at least before we try to do something to take care of our food supply. But let's get a couple of things done. So I've got my NPC on guard mode. I want to talk to him again, come with me, and see if he can teach us anything. He said yes, so what do we want? I think I'm going to go with either handguns or shotguns. Let's do handguns. Sounds good. We always get that error message. Alright, finish training handguns to level 2. Wonderful. Talk with him again and tell him I want him to guard this position again. I don't need him following me around while I'm just shuffling around the work area here. Alright, so he's back on that duty, so we've done that. Next up, let's do... should we do the reading first, or should we... Let's practice our tailoring first by building something. So there's no books we can read to raise tailoring. Our current skill for tailoring is level 4. We're at 59% towards level 5. And if we check our recipe list... Actually, before we do that, let's do this. Let's grab the solar panels that are still in good condition, and let's go ahead and put them on our network to keep the batteries charging up, because we're going to be passing some time here in the base. We might as well have the solar panels installed and doing something. Actually, I don't need to pick these up. I have them right next to the workshop wall anyway, so I can just install them directly. So the question is, do I put out more frames in order to install more solar panels in the meantime? I've got a pretty good supply of storage batteries as well, so if I do a search for storage, we've got one battery in the pile still that I need to relocate, and then we've got this pile here of a bunch of storage batteries. Only a few of them actually have charge, so we've got a number of them that, if the ones that were currently on the network were fully charged, I would pull these off, put new ones on there to get the trickle charge and charge them up as well. So, what order to do this in? Let's actually build the solar array and install that. I think that would be worthwhile. So let's bring that list back up in our crafting menu. Look for solar. And there's the solar array option. I don't expect any of these to take damage, so I think they should be safe just to do a normal solar array for now. And then we'll look at doing the upgraded solar array. Well, I wonder if we'll have to take that apart in order to upgrade them later. Probably will, but that's fine. We're going to do this anyway. So we're going to do a solar array. As you can see, it's going to take 24 pipes, chunks of steel, springs, and 12 solar panels. So this is a pretty hefty supply of metal and materials to go along with the solar panels. It's going to take 300 charges of our welder, and I think, yeah, we'll be fine to build it right here. So, alright, Bring that back up again. So let's build a solar array. It's also going to take 3 hours of time. We're at 11 a.m., so not a problem. We'll use the lumps of steel here. And we just got the dead tired status. Don't stop crafting. Finish this solar array, please. Alright, it's too heavy to carry, so we dropped it. Not a problem. And it's not complicated enough to train our fabrication beyond level 10, which is no problem as well. Alright, let's look at our information here, and let's plan on putting it right at the end of the frame here. Actually, let's not put it near that area. Let's put it right in the middle. Alright, so if we do install, and I see solar panel. So where's solar array? Been a long time since I installed a solar array, so I'm not sure. There it is, right there, solar array. Okay, and we've got all the requirements. Even just to install this is going to take 50 charges from our welder. So that's not a problem, but something to be aware of. So we meet all the requirements there, so let's go ahead and get that installed. I didn't look at how long that would take. I might have wanted to go to sleep first, and let's use the welder. Okay, now we have a solar array installed. So if we come out and take a look, it doesn't have a graphic, so it's just giving us this default look, but there is now a solar array right there. Alright, so that's got the same function essentially as 12 solar panels, but it's actually got increased efficiency. So if we look at the details on the solar array, alright, let's try that again. You'll see here that it notes a dozen solar panels set on a chassis reaching several meters high. It keeps the fragile panel safely away from any potential threats and improves efficiency due to being able to track the sun. However, this comes at the cost of being prohibitively heavy. That's fine. So it's got improved power generation and decreased chance of it taking any damage. So all in all, a good thing as long as you can get all the parts together. You can see I don't even have enough springs or pipes or rebar to do another one, so I'll have to be on the lookout to gather a bunch of those parts as well. But we got the array up, so now as time goes by we should get a larger trickle charge going into our batteries. So we're just going to leave the ones there and let them charge up for now. We're dead tired, we're very thirsty, so we got to get that taken care of. So let's go ahead and... I don't have any fresh water built into the base. I don't remember if I have any in the RV. Oh, I took the kitchen out of the RV. Alright, let's just drink from our supply here then. Gallon jug of clean water. Alright, and we'll grab some food as well. Let's, there's a lot of stuff showing up on the list now. And it's showing up our medicine as well. I don't need that. Let's do it this way instead. Let's look at the food pile, sort by smoked meat, and let's grab the whole pile of smoked meat, and I'm going to set it down here by the cart. That way I don't have to go searching for the most basic food item that I usually tend to eat. Yeah, we'll leave everything else. So the blueberries went rotten already, so we'll toss those into our fire pile here eventually. But let's go ahead and eat some smoked meat, just enough so we're not hungry, and then we'll go take a nap. I don't think I need to worry about him sleeping right now. We're going to be in base for a while, so we'll just sleep. As long as you want. You're dead tired, so you're going to need to recharge the batteries. Long sleep. We're very hungry, very thirsty. Alright, finally woke up. This is what I mean by we're going to burn a lot of food, so Watch how much food it takes us to get out of the very hungry status. Oops, just eat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took 6 to get us to the full status. So that's what I mean by it's going to take a lot. And we'll have to do that again later in the day. So we can burn 10 to 12 of that smoked meat every single day. So we need a pretty big supply. Okay. Now, being able to cook more filling food and more nutritious food is going to be important, and I could probably do that. I just didn't want to take the time right there. So we'll pay attention to that more in the future. And let's do the same thing with my water supply. Do find water, and we'll grab my gallon jug of clean water. Drop that here as well. Alright. Okay, full and slaked, so we're good to go. And it's not quite 11 o'clock in the morning again, so we got some daylight hours. How's our trickle charge doing? We get any improvement? So we're at 70% battery. I forgot where we were at earlier. I know that was at 97. I think that was at 30 something. So I'll keep an eye on this number. So 70%. I'm just curious how much of a charge it generates. I don't think we have anything running at the moment. So if we check our vehicle here, everything is turned off currently. So it's not burning any charge. So it'll just be pure power up. So we'll let that continue to charge. Next we are going to check. We got the solar array installed. That part's done. While we're dealing with solar panels, why don't we get that taken care of with our vehicle? We'll just mark that off the list. So I need 2 solar panels to get that done. Head on over. And this position we're going to remove. Oops, I need my toolbox. Alright, got a toolbox. I don't think I'll need to pick anything up. If you look at my inventory, I've got 90 volume capacity. The reason for that is I've got a military rucksack and a duffel bag and a backpack slung over my back. So, pray to God nothing shows up to fight me, because I'm at like 100 and... what is that? 111 encumbrance on my torso currently. But I wanted to do it this way so I wouldn't have to drag the cart around to grab items. Alright, examine the vehicle, and we're going to remove that solar panel. And then don't have one installed here at all. So we're going to try to install a solar panel there. And we're going to install a solar panel there. And there we go. Everything's fixed up. So, everything should be pristine condition. I did spend a little bit of time welding everything back into... oh, I missed one apparently. We got one steel plating we need to fix. But otherwise, the vehicle is good to go. Alright, perfect condition other than that one spot. I don't have the welder over here right now. Maybe I'll go grab that just so I can finish this off and declare it final and complete. Drop these parts back in that pile and go grab our welder, which has got 150 charges. I don't remember how many charges this is going to take. Guess we'll find out. Repair. Yes, there is a damaged part right there. Oh, always forget my glare protection. Probably have one in that pile, but we'll go here. Grab the welding goggles. Alright, let's do this again. Okay, now it's highlighting the repair because I actually have all the tools I need. Okay, now, perfect condition. Wonderful. So we can stop worrying about the car. It is good to go. Cross that off the list. I'm going to drop these back into the pile here and here. We'll keep the toolbox, but we'll drop those. And... 73% already. So I know a little bit of time went by. Ooh, it's actually the afternoon, so a few hours went by. So it's not a tremendously fast charge. We need just boatloads of solar panels, essentially. So solar is great for generation over time, but you just don't get a huge jump out of it. And I don't want to burn gasoline if I can help it. Now that we know that, I'm going to go ahead and drop the welder onto the UPS station. Oops. Nope, not you. you. That way it'll charge back up once I turn this back on. Alright, recharger is on. Alright, so that'll get the real welder going again. So, make a few notes here. So we fix the solar panel on the vehicle, and we did that. Alright, so it's about time to end the episode, but I do want to at least get one thing built with our tailoring in mind so we know what that's going to be like. So I took a look through the list of options, and as I've done before, I've shown you guys how this works and what to look for, but I'll show you. I'll just go right to the item that I've identified as what we're going to build. So right here, metal arm guards. So what I'm wanting to find is something one level higher than me if possible. I wasn't able to find that, so I've got a difficulty 4 against my skill level 4, so it's an even up. The preference is to go one higher, because then you have a higher chance of getting that event that occurs where you fail to craft the item, but you don't waste the materials, but you still get the experience. That's my best case scenario. That way it doesn't use up the raw materials, because all I care about is the experience, so it lets me continue to build even more times, but still get the same XP. So I try to find something one difficulty level higher than what I've currently got a skill level at, but there isn't a good choice for that, so I'm going with this one. So even up difficulty level, just takes a hammer, one long string, and 2 chunks of steel. Very, very minimal raw material needs to build these metal arm guards, and it only takes 30 minutes per attempt only. I mean, it seems like a lot, but it's the best choice I've got for the raw materials. So we're just going to build arm guards over and over again until we level up, and then we're going to have to go looking through the list to find the next good item for the next skill level. So if I look at the batch list, I can build 16 of these at one time. I'm not going to try to build 16 at once. That would be 8 hours of crafting, game hours. So we're going to do, we'll do maybe half that. We'll do 8. So it'll take 4 hours. That will just get us close to losing the daylight hours. And then we'll check to see what our percentage is for our progress. So we're at tailoring 59%. So I just wanted to double check that to see how much progress we make. So we're going to find out if 8 of these... Yeah, I don't think 8 will get us over the limit. So we'll do 8 of the metal arm guards and see how things go. And we've got 496 scrap metal nearby, so we're going to use that for that component. And there it goes. You can see the clock counting over here. And we just got hungry and thirsty. Alright, so we successfully crafted 8 of them, so we didn't get my favorite event, which is the you failed to craft them but still get XP, and don't waste materials. So we actually have 8 metal arm guards. We didn't get a level up message, so it wasn't enough on its own to level us up. So if we check our skill now, we went from tailoring 59 to 99. So close. So let's finish it off. Let's do one more. Alright, arms, metal arm guards, scrap metal. And there we go. Your skill in tailoring has increased to 5, and we've got one more arm guard. Alright, let's look at our inventory, go to the arm guards, and disassemble. Oh, I can't disassemble it. So, unfortunately, that is a downside I hadn't considered or remembered, that I can't pull these apart. So all the materials that I use to build these are basically wasted. I'm never going to use these metal arm guards for the most part. I was hoping I'd be able to tear them apart and then continue rebuilding. But they didn't use anything that's super critical, so I can find strings all over the place from curtains and houses and tear apart ropes and things like that. So at this stage, that's not a critical resource for us. And the raw materials, the metal, was also not a big deal. So let's drop those metal arm guards into our pile of clothing and armor. And we then have level 5. So tailoring has bumped up, and that means we've got a new list of recipes to look through. I'll do that in between episodes. I'll sort through the new list because we now can do higher difficulty things. So I'll find what the next best recipe is, but I'm going to pull this episode to a close right here, and hope to see you in the next episode and that you're enjoying the series. Let me know in the comments if you do. It's great to hear back from folks so that I know that there's an audience out there and what you guys think. Also, if you think we should focus on one thing in particular, or you have any suggestions that I'm missing in this project that we're about to undertake, I would love to hear it. You can also use my Discord channel. I've got linked down below. There's a bunch of us over there. We chat about the game and strategies and help each other. So you're more than welcome to join us there, and we'll have good times trying to survive the apocalypse. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Bye-bye.